In the early 13th century, Temujin, under the title Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler, united the Mongol tribes of East Asia and conquered the land from the Sea of Japan to the Caspian Sea. Following his death, his direct descendants further expanded the empire, reaching its greatest extent from Southeast Asia to Eastern Europe, making it the largest contiguous land empire in history. The empire, breaking apart from various succession wars, split among Genghis Khan's descendants into 4 functionally separate khanates, or kingdoms. One of these was the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia, which eventually split into an eastern and western section, the western part being Transoxiana. Samarkand, in present-day Uzbekistan, was a desert oasis in Transoxiana that became a major city because it was on the Silk Road trade route from China to the Middle East. But it became considerably more significant when an ancestral relative of Genghis Khan named Timur, later called Tamerlane, made it the capital of the Timurid Empire, which spanned land from South and Central Asia to present-day Turkey. From the lands he conquered, Timur brought back to Samarkand not only significant physical wealth, but perhaps more important, the artistic, scientific, and talented in those lands. By making Samarkand a major center of culture and development, Timur planted the seeds for what came to be called the Timurid Renaissance, which flourished from the 14th to the 16th centuries under the rule of his descendants. Timurid Renaissance art was notable for arts of the book, including manuscript illustration and calligraphic script. A single manuscript might be created by several artists, combining different painting and printing styles, and strongly reflecting the Islamic influences from the Persian lands Timur conquered. Timurid Renaissance art was also influenced by Chinese culture, due to its location along the Silk Road and the decades of Mongol rule in China. Other arts such as earthenware pottery and decorative tiles were created both with mosaics and a bordered glazing technique called cuartesica, and functional and decorative items were carved from jade. Timurid metalwork was notable for being crafted in base metals such as brass or bronze, then inlaid with precious metals such as silver and gold. Items such as bowls and dishes were commonly decorated with inscriptions, such as Persian verse from historical and contemporary poets. Unlike the relatively small and delicate art of the Timurid Renaissance, its architecture was monumental, and perhaps nowhere was this better displayed than Registan, the public square in the heart of Samarkand. The 3 madrasas, or schools for Islamic education, which framed the Registan, each display common elements which characterize Timurid architecture. These are brightly colored tilework, notably in bright turquoise, imposing entrances, and highly detailed geometric vaulting, called mukarnas. Brightly colored tiles would decorate the otherwise drab brick exteriors, in designs that included both mosaic patterns and a technique called bina, which created inscriptions and geometric patterns by interlacing colored tiles into the brick exteriors. The mighty entrances combined a highly decorated archway, or ivan, within a massive rectangular frame, or pishtak. Such architectural features predated Timurid architecture by centuries, but they were put on magnificent display in Registan, where they combined colorful mosaic tilework and mukarnas. Also known as honeycomb vaulting, mukarnas were often used as a decorative way to transition from a linear wall to a curved vault. They were also used to maximum effect in the ornate decorations of the inner vaults of the building's characteristic onion domes. One of the monumental madrasas in Registan is named after Ulugh Bek, a mid-15th century emperor of the Timurid Empire and a mathematician and astronomer. The Timurid Renaissance was distinguished by its advances in astronomy, largely because of the work done at the Ulugh Bek Observatory, of which the only remains are part of a massive sextant used to measure the positions of stars and planets. At the observatory, Timurid scientists measured with a high level of accuracy Earth's tropical year and axial tilt. The first director of the observatory, an astronomer and mathematician named Al-Kashi, distinguished the Timurid Renaissance with mathematical advances. One such advance was a trigonometric relationship called the law of cosines. This establishes a generalized mathematical relationship between the interior angles of a triangle and the lengths of its sides, applied in triangulation to find a point based on trigonometric relationships with 2 other points. Even after the fall of the Timurid Empire, its cultural legacy could be seen in empires which followed, such as the Safavids of Iran and the Mughals of India. I hope you've enjoyed this brief look at the last vestige of the Mongol Empire and the artistic, architectural, and scientific renaissance it produced. Have a great day.